morning, guys. I hope you're doing well today. I'm Taffany and I want to welcome you into my garden. This is Tika's Gardens, and this morning I am going to do some work in the bedroom garden. If you recall from previous videos, all of the lovely lilies that I've had lining the walkway, I got those, as I've mentioned a few times before, off of Etsy. I got like 50 tubers for $9, and they've been in a couple of years. This bedroom garden is a new section that I started creating in the fall, and my ideas have kind of really started coming together this year on what I wanted to do with it. So I wanted these lilies to give me one more season of bloom. This bedroom garden, I'm going to be pulling out the lilies because they're just about done. I'll show you what they're looking like. Pretty much the blooms are done, and I'm going to replace them with evergreens. But I'm going to do step one today. If I have time, I will get out and plant, but I'm out early in the morning. It's about 71 degrees right now. It's going to get into the 90s. For those of you who don't know, I am in Spring, Texas, Zone 9B. I am just north of Houston, and if you know anything about the Houston area, it is hot and humid. So I'm out early enough to get work done before it gets hot. So I want to dig up the lilies back here in the bedroom garden, and then I'm also going to show you where I started cleaning up the area where the drain is. I'm going to lay some landscape fabric there, and I will eventually be putting rock. So like I said, those are several things I want to do: planting and get the rock down. I'm gonna do what I can this morning before it starts to get hot. I got out early as I could so that I, could beat the heat. And that's what I'm going to have to do for the next few weeks, is do what I can in the mornings, because it's just too hot during the rest of the day to be out doing anything. So I was out laying the adding to the new walkway in the middle of the day, the worst time. I was so hot I had to stop for water breaks. I was just like feeling overheated. So I'm just gonna work in the mornings and get as much done as I can while the temps are comfortable for the next few weeks. So we're gonna see what we can get done this morning, and we may not get to everything, so we'll see. Let's get the lilies up and everything, but let me show you. I'm going to stick a clip in of what the area looked like during the rains, because we've had several days of rain here. Well, I don't want to say several. I think it's been maybe about 4 days of rain in a row. So I'll show you what the drain looks like, show you where I am right now, and like I said, I'm gonna lay the landscape fabric and everything. Now, to explain the reason why I did what I did around the drain is, as this area has kind of been evolving to address the water buildup issue, and I've got the majority of the area fixed. And when I say water issue, I don't mean, oh, it had a little standing water. It would get a lot of standing water over here in this corner, being the lowest corner in the garden, contributing from the drains that had been covered up and hidden for I don't know how many years. I discovered them when I was working in this area, thank goodness. Same for the courtyard area. As a matter of fact, during one of my videos working back there, I discovered a second drain in the courtyard area. So as I've been developing these areas, I've been discovering the drains. So that has helped with water, laying the gravel along the walkway back here, as you can see. That has helped tremendously as well. I've got the drains open and cleared out, but this one drain being so low, at the very lowest corner of the yard, it gets a lot of the mulch and everything coming from two directions down into it. So I shoveled the area lower so that the soil level can be lower there, and instead of having mulch that's going to keep covering it, because during these rains it was completely covered to the point where you couldn't even see that there was a drain, and I have that happen a lot. So I'm going to put rock there, but I want to do landscape fabric. I don't really like to use landscape fabric, but I am for here, because I want the rock on something in the event that we want to pull it up. I don't see that happening. And as a matter of fact, when I was working in this area, I found so many rocks back here. I was able to use those rocks in other parts of the yard. Let me show you. So guys, it is raining right at the moment that I am out here in the yard. And I just wanted to come out and show you what I did in between the rains. This is where the drain had been completely covered by mulch. So in between the rains, I came out and I cleared that out completely, and I got my shovel and removed as much of that as I could to lower the level so that it is not higher than the drain. And I've put an edging there so that I can separate the back from the front. The front is where the plantings will go. The back is where I plan to lay landscape fabric and put rock there. So this is what it's looking like during the rains. Okay guys, so we're heading back here. This is the drain that I'm talking about. I will stick clips in the video so you can see what it looked like when it was raining, and this is what it's looked like. It's a muddy mess. But as you can see, I've removed the mulch from there and I've dug down to lower the level just a little bit below the rock that I put around it. All this rock here, all of this brown rock here, you will notice there's some brown rock like this in the back courtyard garden. Let's walk back that way and I will show you. Oh, we've got a strawberry that's ready. Yay! I've been picking lots of tomatoes and cherries and things like that. Look, the rain has beat down my lamb's ear. And I don't know why that one is so beat down, while these over here look so much better. I don't know what that is about. But you can see all the weeds back here from not being able to get out here for the rain. Weeds, weeds, weeds everywhere. But you see the brown rock in there and brown rock over here. There's some in the front yard as well. I was able to use them throughout the yard. And when I say that there is so many rock throughout this yard, when I was working back here, getting this area together, in this section here, there's a lot of rock down under the ground. So the same with around the drain back here, a lot of rock. I got so many rock from this one section. The majority of the rock I've used in the yard actually came from around where this drain area is. So that means that someone had rock here before, probably thinking the same way that I'm thinking. So we're gonna get that done. And as you can see up here, the the Fizzy Mizzy sweet spires are still here. I'm just gonna keep this front area mulched, lay down landscape fabric and gravel, and that's what we're gonna do for this back area. There is a sprinkler right here, so I have to make sure that I don't cover that. But now let's get to one of the hard jobs this morning that I want to get done. As you can see, these lilies will be opening today. They're starting right now, but it's pretty much done. You see that this lily is done. That one is almost done. And this one has a couple more buds, but for the most part it is done as well. Let me step back. As well as this one. So the lilies are going to come up. I always intended to do that, but I didn't want to pull them up until after I got another collection of blooms from them for the season. But what I plan to do is continue with the Parsons juniper in their place, because I want this wall to have as much evergreen as possible. So I want it to be interesting year-round. So it will have the columnar ligustrums, that rapidly growing Italian cypress. The thing is getting so tall so fast. And then it will have the Parsons junipers all lining the front. As you also know, these fova lilies also multiply so rapidly and they can take over. And I actually had to dig one up that had popped up in the walkway right here. So I don't want anything along the edge that will you know, start growing into the walkway. So the evergreen will be nice and it will be a consistent look, you know. So it will be basically, if I step back, the Parsons juniper there, 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 and then the one in front of the bedroom window there as well. So it will give it a consistent look. It'll kind of start to give a nice lush evergreen look back here. And so that's the plan. So step one, let's get these lilies up, which I don't expect is going to be an easy job. And then number two, let's get the landscape fabric laid. And number three will be planting, and we will see if we can get to that and laying the rock before the hot weather hits. So let's get started with today's work. And Miss Tika is of course out here to get into trouble as usual. All right, guys, let's get started with removing these lilies. All right. That is 3 down and 2 more to go. I'm just gonna get them all out while I have the energy, and it's already starting to get humid this early in the morning. So let's get the others out. Let's get the landscape fabric down. All right. And guys, this one is already spreading. It already has babies out from it, so I've got to try to get the babies up too. Well guys, now that we have the lilies out, I'm going to put this landscape fabric down. So this is what I'm going to use, just a thin landscape fabric that will allow for water to move through easily and all that. So let's get it cut up and let's get it in laid down. I've got my staples and everything all handy and ready to go. So let's get into this mud and get going. All right guys, I got all of the lilies dug up. I've got more of the dirt from around the drain kind of dug up to lower the level. And I've got the weed block, the landscape fabric there. It is not really for blocking weeds. If it does it, that's great. Most of them don't. But it is more for kind of holding the soil in place so that it doesn't run into the drain. And so the rock will work as the mulch, and you know, rock is not really easy to move, so my goal is that it will solve the problem. And since it's kind of back behind the shrubs, you know, once the shrubs are thick and full and lush, hopefully it will kind of block the view. But I'm hoping this is the last step to solving the problem. You know, every time it rains, I'm able to watch and see what's happening so I can decide what to do next. And like I said, I've solved almost the majority of the problem. This is the last little thing that I have to figure out. And so I hope I've got it. So let me show you what the bedroom garden looks like without the lilies, and with that mulch gone and the fabric down. And this was all pretty much hard work, so I'm gonna call it quits here. It's starting to get hot, and I will come back out maybe tomorrow and finish up the you know, putting in the shrubs and getting the rock down. But for now, let's see what we got removed from the garden back here. So basically today was a removal and garden prep for planting and rock. So it's like getting everything ready. So let me show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so I am going to step back. So here's the circle bed without the lilies in it. I left the holes because I don't have anything to really fill it for right now, and I'll figure things out. Same here, I kind of left the larger holes because that's where the Parsons junipers are going to go, and I think that's a good choice because it's going to give a consistency to the garden. It's going to have that juniper right there, low growing, kind of edging this entire section here. I'm even contemplating if I should remove the fizzy Mizzy sweet spires and put another Parsons juniper there to complete the look. But I almost feel like right there needs something tall to, number one, block what's behind it, which is the drain, and because I just think this side needs a little more height. And who knows, maybe 2 more column ligustrums are the answer for that. We'll see. But for right now, as you can see, let me come this way. They're gone, and I'm pleased. I've been waiting and waiting. I did not mention in other videos that I wanted to remove them. I wanted to enjoy one more season with them, and I really want to make this garden a custom garden. Like I said, I enjoy it from the bedroom, and I do a lot of my work in the bedroom because it's the brightest spot in the house. It's the one room that is nothing but a wall of windows, so it is just a beautiful view from that room. So let me come to the other side. All right, let me turn around. So I'm going to step to the entrance of the bedroom garden on the walkway side, and you can see that they are gone, and they are gone. So just picture that thick short hedge of Parsons junipers running along in front of the column ligustrums and the hibiscus. That's going to be pretty. And let's get a close-up look around the rock. As you can see here, I've got the fabric down to hold the dirt in place so that it does not run into the drain. I've got to do a little bit of a better job back there. And I left an opening right here for the sprinkler head. And this here is when the water comes down from the roof and it lands in this larger white circle area, it runs this way. So this will allow it to run to the drain. So that is that. All right, guys, well, we've got the landscape fabric down to hopefully hold that dirt in so it won't run into the drain. We have the lilies pulled up so we can get new things planted and make this a lush green garden. The sun is rising right above here and directly in my face, but I'm glad I got out and got that done. It is definitely feeling humid and hot right now, so I'm going to call it quits, and I will get back out here later and try to do some of the planting and get the rocks down. But until then, I want to thank you for gardening with me, and I will see you in the next video. That's my cart of lilies that I gotta get rid of. I'm gonna ask my husband to do that part for me because I'm tired. All right, guys, but anyway, thanks for gardening with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.